Welcome to the Worshipped Woman podcast. I am your host, kellykristin. I am a life and relationship coach, deep healing facilitator, and subconscious change expert. On this podcast, we will dive deep into personal growth, transformation, and relationships, releasing patterns of toxicity, codependency, and people-pleasing as we explore what it means to be the worshipped woman. If you are ready to heal, embody your worth, and raise your standards in life and love, you are in the right place. I am so happy to have you here. Now, let's get started. Hello, sisters. Welcome back to the Worshipped Woman podcast. Kelly here, and I am so excited that you are here joining me, listening to me, getting yourself into the mindset of the worshipped woman. And that is kind of what I want to dig into today. I know I have an episode, the first episode when I renamed this podcast, because if maybe you're new, you're just joining us here on this journey, but I've had a couple iterations of this podcast, and the latest birthing was the Worshipped Woman. And the first episode of the Worshipped Woman was, I believe, episode 100 of this podcast. With the name change, I really dove into what that means, but I kind of want to expand today on some deep mindset shifts and just ways of being that I have adopted, and ways that I think of myself when it comes to relationships and life and all of that. But before I get into that, I do want to remind you, or let you know possibly, that if you are a woman that is looking to heal from toxic relationships, you're ready to forever break that cycle, you want to increase your self-worth, really release all of the trauma from your body, and actually reprogram, rewire your mind, your body to experience love in a whole new way, I really invite you to take a look at the Heal, Rise, Thrive program. This is an 8-week group program. We are starting on Sunday, August 29th. At the time of me recording this, I just have a few spaces left, and you will need to contact me pretty quickly from the time this comes out if you want to get in. And this is actually going to be the last program that I'm running, the last Heal, Rise, Thrive program that I'm running until 2022. So if you have been on the fence about it, or if you're interested at all, I will put a link in the show notes for you to check it out, to see what it's all about. And of course, you can always send me an email, send me a message on DM on the Instagrams, whatever, if you have any questions at all. Okay, so let's dive in. And I don't care who you are or where you are on this journey of healing, of remembering, of coming home to yourself, of wanting to have better relationships, of wanting to experience love in a new way. I want you to really hear what I'm saying today. And maybe this is something that you listen to a couple of times, because the mindset that I'm going to share with you today will change your life if you can actually apply it. And there's a big difference between just listening to something and applying it to your life. That's where the work comes in, right? That's where the change comes in. But if you can just even try these things on that I'm going to talk about today, I promise you that you will feel a shift inside of yourself. Because our beliefs and what we are telling ourselves about what is possible for us in our life is what you are going to get in your life, okay? And maybe you've heard that before, but I really want you to take a second and think about your life and think about your relationships. And I want you to think about what it is that you maybe currently are accepting in a partnership that you don't want, or that you have in the past. And I really want you to just kind of look at it, not in a way of trying to shame or blame yourself, because I am not about that. We don't do that around here. We're leaving the shame and the blame in the past. That's gone by. But what I want you to do is just look at it and really be honest with yourself if that is the kind of love that you want to experience. If how you feel in your relationship, a majority of the time, is how you truly want to feel, is how you truly want to be loved. Now, I'm not saying that any relationship is perfect or great 100% of the time. Sorry, that's like a fantasy that does not exist. However, there's a big difference between spending most of your time trying to change or wishing that your partner was different versus genuinely liking and appreciating the person that you're with. And there's a big difference between being happy and fulfilled and content and feeling like your needs are met 90% of the time versus constantly feeling like you're on edge, walking on eggshells, like you can't be who you really want to be, like you can't say what you really want to say. Those are very, very different realities. And I want to speak to you about this because I have lived both of those realities. And the thing that I want you to understand is that we get what we accept and allow in our life. And this is directly tied into what we believe is possible for us to have. But what if anything that you wanted was possible for you? What if you could have whatever you wanted? And I'm speaking relationally here. This is an area where a lot of people settle, where a lot of people say like things like, oh, good men are hard to find, or they just don't exist, or they're whatever, or, if you date women or whatever, right? Like it's hard to find and you can't find people that are like this and you can't find people like that and blah, blah, blah. So I have to settle for this person that is not even really somebody that I like all that much, or doesn't treat me well and manipulates me and lies to me, or doesn't give me the time of day, or like breadcrumbs me and gives me just a little bit of attention, just enough to keep me hanging on to something, but actually doesn't fulfill me at all. And you know what? God, I really wish that this person would just love me, would hug me, would touch me, would communicate with me better. And you can spend your entire life wishing, hoping that things were different, wishing and hoping that you could have a better relationship, wishing and hoping that, you could just have what it was that you wanted, that you could be loved like you want to be loved. Or you can stop wishing and hoping and you can say, this is what I get to have. This is what I get to experience. This is how I want to feel. And you know what? I don't have to settle for less than that. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am enough. And that's the end. That's it. I am worthy. I am deserving. I am enough. What if nothing was too good for you? What if nothing was impossible for you? And I really want you to think about this when it comes to your relationships. Like, what is the ideal scenario for you? Like, what is the relationship that you had that if you had it, it would be like the best thing ever? You would feel like my life is so good. I'm so lucky. This is amazing. What is that thing for you? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is that? And then you need to get yourself behind the belief that you can have it. Because why would it be in your mind if you couldn't? That's not how the world works. It's in your mind because it is possible for you to experience it. You desire it because it is meant for you. Not because it's like some wish thing that you hope or wish could happen to you. But guess what? If that's what you say that you want, but then you settle for something that is not that, you're blocking the universe, God, source, angels, whatever works for you. You are blocking divine intelligence from actually getting the thing that you want, like that you put out there saying, hey, this is really what I want. You're blocking it when you accept things that are not it. Okay? So let's put this like into a tangible thing. You say you want a partner that is communicative with you, that it, gives you a lot of attention, hugs, loves, kisses, that really listens to you, that feels emotionally available to you, somebody who supports you, somebody who does what they say that they're going to do, someone who follows through, someone who's consistent. Like, you say that you want these things, okay? But then someone comes along and they give you a little bit of attention. Maybe you're a little bit attracted to them. You feel a spark, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, they flake out on you. But maybe the one time isn't a good, maybe one time you make, it's not that big of a deal. But then they say they're going to do something. They don't do it again. They say they're going to call. They don't call. They say, we're going to go out and do this. But then they never make hard plans. But then they kind of just want to hang out with you at a time that's not really like taking you out, but you want to be taken out, right? Like, you want to be taken out. You want to be courted. You want to be treated like a princess that you are. And they're like, you can come over to my house and hang out. But that's not what you want, right? Like, you know what you want. You want a relationship that's supportive, all of the things. And this is not that. Okay. But you say, I like the attention, and maybe this is just as good as I can get. Maybe that's it. And so you spend your time with this person, time being your most valuable fucking resource, okay? Literally, time is your most valuable resource, and you're spending your time with this person who is not even in line with what it is that you say that you want out of a relationship. And then you spend your time miserable trying to change them to be something that they are not. Now, there's reasons why we do this, okay? You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. It's like tied into old programming and childhood wounding and things that we can work through, okay? I get why this happens, and I can see it so clearly. But if you just decided, like, I'm not doing that anymore. I know I have this pattern. I know it's there. But I'm going to notice that pattern, and I'm going to stop it in its tracks. And I'm going to make new choices. I'm going to make new decisions. I'm going to actually be a new way. And what if your way was, God, you know what? It's actually a privilege to date me. It's a privilege to be in my energy. It's a privilege to get to, like, touch me. Like, are you kidding? Like, kiss me, have sex with me. My God, that is such a privilege. Are you kidding me? Really? Are you kidding me? Like, that is such a privilege. I feel that way about myself. I feel that way about myself. And because I feel that way about myself, that's how the people that date me feel too. Well, it's not like multiple people now. It's just one person now. I didn't like do anything funny, but you know what I mean. But it's because my energy is saying it's a privilege to be with me. And when I come from that energy of it's a privilege to be with me, I'm amazing, I'm great, you are so fortunate to get to be with me. Well, guess what? Then I attract someone who sees that, who then I can also feel fortunate to be with. It's not like this one thing where it's like I want somebody to praise me, right? It's mutual praise. It's mutual respect. It's mutual honor. That's what creates really great relationships. Not where somebody's putting you on a pedestal, not where you're putting somebody else on a pedestal, but it's where you both feel so fortunate to have one another. But you have to know that someone who gets to be with you is so fucking lucky. So lucky. It's a privilege. It's an honor. Do you feel that way about yourself? And imagine what could change in your life if that was your reality, if that's how you walked around, if that was the energy that you embodied. And not just in romantic relationships, but what about friendships too? Like, gosh, I'm such a great friend. It's such a privilege to be my friend. It's such a privilege to get to be in my energy, to be around me. How do you think your friendships would transform? How do you think your life would transform if you really, really put this kind of mindset to work? What if you just started repeating that to yourself over and over and over again? And reminding yourself that when you're dating people or being pursued by different people, like, God, it's a privilege to be with me. And if they cannot see that, well, guess what? It doesn't have anything to do with you. It doesn't mean that it's not a privilege. It doesn't mean that you're not great. It doesn't mean that you're not amazing. It just means that, guess what? It's not a match. It's not a match. It doesn't make them a bad, terrible person. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make anybody a bad person. It just means it's not really a match. It's not a fit. When somebody is acting in a way that doesn't jive with you, that doesn't work with you, that's not how you desire, that's not how you want to be treated, we don't have to keep making them into the bad person. It's just, this is who they are. Do I accept that or not? Does that work for me or not? Not, this is who they are and they're a terrible person and why can't they just change and be better and do all of these things that I want them to do and try to control them and all of these things that we think that we have to do to try to find happiness. When truly, if we come from the place of ourselves first, working with the fact that you yourself are whole, complete, amazing, it's a privilege to be with you. It's a privilege to be in your energy. Come with that, bring that, and then watch what happens in your life. You have to back that belief up with the actions, right? You have to back that energy up with the actions. And that means cutting off people. That means when somebody does something that doesn't jive with you, that doesn't work with you, that you think is unacceptable behavior, like, you don't let them hang around for months and months and months and months and years and going back and forth, because it's a waste of your time. And time is what we have on this earth. And giving your time, spending your time with somebody is incredibly valuable. And this is why it's so important to like yourself, because you spend a lot of time with you. And if you don't do the work to like who you are, and you like yourself just a little bit better with somebody else that's not even really treating you that great, but they're treating you better than you treat you, or then you're going to feel like you really like being around them. But even the qualities that you like and other people that maybe aren't so good for you, maybe people that are toxic and you hold on to those good times and the times when they're nice and they're sweet and how great they are some of the time, that's actually you. That's your magic. That's the reflection of the love that you are giving out. And I just want you to know that you have a choice. You have a choice for what you accept and allow into your life. And you have a choice to not settle for things that don't really fulfill you, that don't meet your needs, that don't make you go, oh my God, this is so amazing. My life is so good. I'm so lucky. You deserve that. You deserve that. And I want you to know that. And if it's anything less than that, you got to start looking at yourself, start looking within, and start doing the work. And I'm not saying you have to leave every relationship. Relationships are complicated. They're nuanced. Only you know what is best for you. And maybe sometimes it's both of you guys need to work together. But if you are the partner that's always putting forward the work, you are the partner that's always doing everything, and the other one just sits there and doesn't take any accountability, doesn't attempt to do anything, doesn't attempt to grow in any way, and it's just you forcing, hey, go do this thing, go do that, and they're not, they don't have any of their own volition to go out and do things, it's never going to work. You can't make people change. You can't make people change. But what you can do is love up on yourself a whole lot more. So that is going to be it for me today. If you loved this episode, let me know. Take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories. You could tag me at Miss MS kellykristin. And if you know another sister that needs to hear this message, I ask that you please share it. Once again, if you are interested in Heal, Rise, Thrive, this is the last time the program is going to be open in 2021. It is a complete transformation of your relationships. It is all about healing from toxic relationships, real deep healing, rewiring your mind, your nervous system, like creating and stepping into a new identity of the worshipped woman, the thriving woman. It's amazing. If you want to get in, I'm going to post the link in the show notes. And I hope that you have a beautiful, amazing day. And don't forget, you are worthy, you are deserving, and you are enough always, always, always. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon.